The Tangent Egg podcast is aimed at a mature audience. It contains themes that are not appropriate for all listeners. It's important to note that we are not experts. We routinely have no idea what we're talking about and are just three idiots sitting around a table. Listener discretion is advised.
Welcome to the Tangent Egg podcast. I'm Seth, and as always with me is John Doe and Swoosh.
Hi.
Hello.
And for once we get to start an episode with some good news.
Yeah.
In Germany, they've banned loot boxes for minors.
Basically anything with the loot box, they've just turfed, haven't they?
They've straight out stated they're gambling. It's 18 plus. That's it.
Fucking well done to Germany there.
Thank fuck.
And I mean, like, you say minors, and I think most people are going to think like a 10-year-old, but we're talking all the way up to 17 here, guys.
Yeah.
It's straight out the equivalent of an R18 license for having loot boxes. That's fucking gold. So there goes all your targeted at minor fucking games. Fortnite's gonna have to change a whole heap of shit, though they've gone more to Battle Pass now, but
yeah,
Overwatch and
so
many other
games.
games.
I think.
Overwatch, FIFA, NBA 2K, all these things that have worked so hard to cram all this fucking manipulative microtransaction bullshit into their loot boxes and random surprise mechanic systems.
No.
Yeah.
It's all just gonna get fucking yeeted if you live in Germany.
I'm curious what FIFA, like the FIFA games, are gonna fucking do, because that is like they make so much fucking money, like billions of dollars a year on those fucking loot boxes of the Ultimate Team, and that's all out the fucking window.
It's basically funded on Ultimate Team packs.
Oh, fucking oath. Like, they wouldn't even need to produce another game in the next few years, and they've still got enough from that fucking bullshit.
Yeah.
The fun thing is, normally when things are passed like that in Germany, they tend to then move to the rest of the Europe.
The
region,
EU.
And then eventually to, like, the US and us. It's like, yes, good. Your time is limited.
Yeah, I mean, the Germany's like one of the biggest contributors to the EU system, so yeah, what happens in Germany quite often does have a strong effect in Europe, so I hope to see the domino effect start.
Oh, we're going to sit there and
Fucking
laugh at
oath.
this in days to come. It'd be great.
Like, as long as they start fucking taking care of some of the other fucking predatory practices in games, so, like, not even microtransactions in general, like buying fucking skins that mean fucking nothing, like, targeted at fucking children. Get rid of them. They're fucking pointless. Like, there's so much shit they can get rid of.
Look, man, I don't hate the buying skins thing. My problem is all the fake-o currencies you have to buy to do that.
Yeah.
If you want to charge people $5 for a skin, and they pay you $5 for that skin, go.
Yeah, have it listed as $5, not 60 points or 60 credits. But you can buy them in a pack of 500.
60 Blizzard bucks.
Yeah. Or you can buy them in a pack of 550 and a pack of 150. Oh no, you've got some left.
If you're gonna do those fucking Mickey fucking Malcho points, you need to give the exact amount.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
If I cannot buy the exact amount of Fako points to get the thing, you fucked up.
Yeah. I don't want to have anything left over at all.
That's sort of the whole point of those fucking things, so you have leftovers, so you try and fucking juggle it to buy more.
Well,
so
there is actually an argument for using it. It's easier on the developer end to monetize points over actual putting the currency conversions in the game. It's much less legwork on their end. The problem is most people do the predatory version.
Yeah.
But if you actually put in, it costs $10 to get this many points to buy the skin, it's easier on the developer's end to then go, it's $10 here, it's $20 here, it's $15 here because of conversion rates on the points than to actually change the actual thing in game.
Yeah. Or like change it so like this is a tier 1 skin and that's going to cost you $10. This is a tier 2 skin that's going to cost you $5. This is a tier 3 skin that's going to cost you $2.50, and all fucking skins get dumped into that bullshit.
That'd be fine.
But
like I said, the only argument for it is ease on the developer's end for currency conversion, and that's it.
Yeah.
But if you do predatory shit, you fucking own it. Don't sit back and pretend it didn't happen.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
I will admit, like, Dark Tide launched with that shit, although they have now added in a bundle amount you can buy that is exactly the amount you need to buy a skin pack. So they did listen, but they didn't launch that way, so I can't give them 100% credit for that. They did launch with the predatory
They tested those
version.
waters.
Well, that's the thing, though. Also, it's only enough to buy if you like. They regularly rotate through like a pack of cosmetics. It's usually a headpiece, a chest piece, a leg piece, and like a weapon skin as one pack. You can buy the exact amount of Faco money to buy that pack, but none of the individual stuff you can also buy on the cosmetic store has that option. There's no like buy 500 of them to buy one item. They only did it for the pack, which oddly enough is the most expensive.
It's the most expensive and probably also like the most basic. They're probably going to bring out packs that, oh my god, I want that fucking skin, but you can only buy it as a helmet individually, or as boots individually, or as a chest piece individually.
So far from what I've seen, the cooler stuff is in the packs.
Give it time.
But again, but even then, you have to spend. I can't remember what the conversion rate on it, but it's like spending like $15-20.
Yeah.
For a skin, and that's the only. And the good stuff's in there because they want you to spend the $20.
Yeah.
The individual ones are much more like, it's like $5 for enough Faco money to buy a helmet, but then you've got leftover Faco bucks.
Yeah.
So, I love the guys who made Dark Tide, and I love Dark Tide, but, like, their cosmetics, like, just charge the money. Just charge the real money.
That'll be fine.
Get rid of Faco money. It's no good. Unless the game itself gives me Faco money, that's fine. I'm getting it from the game. But if I want to buy with my fucking money.
No, and be able to earn that Faco money at an actual accruement rate, not just play 100 hours for one Faco dollar.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Like, you can earn the credits. You don't have to spend $1. No, you can't earn those fucking credits to equivalent to buy anything.
You have to mine for your entire life to get one helmet.
Yeah, pretty much. Or they'll make that first one easy, and then you're kind of going to want it, and then...
The first pack
we
is
all know
$10, 10 credits, and we're going to give you 9 credits. Pay for 1 hour to get 1 more credit. Now play the rest of your life to earn another credit. Your soul belongs to us. It's terms and conditions.
This Skinnerbox shit is infecting the fucking... Lest to say we return to our eternal discussion about Diablo.
Oh god,
Don't
get us back in that hole. We'll never escape.
I know, man, but we start talking about fucking Faco money and manipulative bullshit, and come on, it's currently the gold example.
But they do have the Faco dollars, and a lot of them, but they don't have a specific loot box. If you instead of a loot box, it gives you a mini mission where at the end of it you get a random drop of a certain tier height. You're guaranteed a certain tier height, but because it's not an actual box, it may not fall under the loot box fucking thing. Even though that's exactly what you're fucking
I don't think
buying.
it would, because that's no different from basic things from WoW when the raids were a thing. It's like, you might get a piece of loot when you get this dungeon done.
Yeah,
but I understand. You can just keep grinding that mission over and over again.
No, you still have to pay for it each time you want to run it.
No, wait, really? Fuck that.
Instead of it being a loot box, it's a miniature mission where it's like a 3-room fucking run, and at the end of that, you're guaranteed a drop of at least a certain tier. So instead of a loot box where you press a button and it opens and here's your thing, it's you do a 3-room run and my god, you got a thing.
They've monetized basic loot drop mechanics.
Yeah.
Yes.
So it's no longer a loot box.
That's why this Diablo Immortal thing was just so fucked, because they did battle passes, they did loot boxes, they did this thing. They skitterboxed the shit out of people so hard. It's like they looked at the big box of predatory mechanics and went, let's not choose.
They looked just like, yes.
Which one? All
of them. Now, dump it in. One big pot.
Which one? That one. The one in the box? No, the box. That box. I want all of them.
Yeah.
Can you make another box? Get an extra box in there.
Who can figure out another bullshit way to churn money out of them? Let's throw that in there too.
It's truly insane how far that game went down the loot box, or the loot mechanics monetization bullshit.
Oh yeah, no, they drank the Kool-Aid there.
To roll back to our positive point we were trying to make, Germany getting us in the right direction. Thanks, guys.
Where to go? From one dumbass to another.
Yes. Well, this individual wasn't a dumbass. The dumbass who did the banning was the fucking dumbass. But it's still fucking screwy. So, an artist has been banned for looking too much like an AI. Has been generating
his art style
that looks,
is too much like an AI.
Yeah, and if you look at it, it's like, okay, I can see an AI generating that. Like, someone's put in a specific request and could have spat something out similar to that.
Yeah.
But, fuck me. Like, if a person can say, no, I'm the artist, I drew that thing. It's just fucking screwy.
When he came back to the mod and was like, hey, because this is on a subreddit, he's come back to the mod and be like, hey, I actually painted this is mine. It's not AI art. And the guy has come back just hyper defensive, going, well, you need to get a new art style because yours is too close to AI now, and screw you because AI can poke this out in a couple of seconds. It's like, dude, say you're sorry and move on. Fuck.
Yeah. So, shit, bud, fucked up. Fixed it. You're unbanned.
Look, there's a lot of stuff going on right now with all this AI art stuff, and I'd rather not get into it because it's a whole big thing.
Oh, it is.
And
it is, yeah.
But the one thing that is happening right now that is a giant pile of garbage that needs to fucking stop is what Adobe did.
Yeah.
Yep.
So Adobe wanted to, I don't know what Adobe's going to do with it, but they wanted to start harvesting data for an AI. Now, the question is whether or not Adobe is developing their own AI or they just want to sell a big data set, which, honestly, I wouldn't put past Adobe to just go for the quick buck. But what they decided to do is they did an update, and the thing you got to understand is Adobe isn't on your machine anymore. It's a whole cloud thing. You get subscriptions and you get access. It's fucking... Look, man, we went through uni where, Macromedia still existed.
Yeah.
Which feels really weird to say, because most people don't even remember that Adobe didn't come up with Flash.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, we grew up. We went through with actual software. The uni we went to actually gave us student copies of all these programs, so we had offline programs. And we've watched them slowly turn into the CS suites where you have to buy everything and not the pieces you actually want. And, and now it's all cloud-based. So, what they did is they pushed an update to Adobe. And you have to opt out of this. And honestly, if you're using Adobe and you are hearing me right now and you haven't done this, absolutely go into your settings and opt out. What they've done is they're allowing themselves to scrape your artwork while you're making it to use for AI training.
Yeah. So your painting process, essentially.
Not just your process, just at various stages of... They can just go, yep, we're taking that snapshot. Whenever they want. Now, there are arguments for and against AI art, however you want to slice it. Again, we're not going to get into it. But the big one for people who are okay with the way AIs are trained is that most of these data sets are getting taken from places like DeviantArt or somewhere like that, where it's been publicly posted.
Yeah.
This is not publicly posted. This is a work in progress art piece done by somebody that is getting scraped.
Yeah.
There is also another layer to it where, say you were doing some kind of design work in Adobe for a company where you're under an NDA.
Yeah.
And now that artwork has been scraped and used in something else? What the fuck?
That means you are technically liable for that.
Well, it's more Adobe would be liable, but you would be culpable if you knew that Adobe was doing it and still used Adobe's software.
I was trying to think of what use they could use with this other than just trying to pump out more AI bullshit. But my only thought is when I first tried to use Photoshop, I was fucking garbage at it. Everything. I'm still fucking garbage at it. I am not an artist at all. But if, say, you're a learner, you have a fresh install, and you're trying to use this new version of Photoshop, that if when you try and draw a line, instead of it being fucking janky, or it may assist you in some way in creating the smooth line or trying to generate the image that you want to help train you how to use the fucking software better. I'm not saying it's a fucking great way of going about it, but I'm trying to think of any positive they could fucking have here. And if, like, that's all I can come up with. Training new people to use the software that it may help assist them in actually using it properly.
I can see that becoming like predictive text used to be back on the old school phones. So you're tapping away.
Oath.
Is it just drawing a line? Ah, that's a penis.
Yeah.
Like, without...
Yeah.
But even then,
are you trying to draw an eyeball? Would you like anime? Would you like Western? Would you like this? Would you...
Look, the thing is, though, all it's going to do is teach people the wrong way to do stuff.
Oh, fucking oath.
I'm a coder, and when I was learning, I used to hate the fact that our teachers at the uni we went to used to, like, they hated Dreamweaver. It was like, this thing auto-generates all this code for you, don't use it. And I learned how to do all of my coding in fucking Notepad.
Yeah.
And I can build a PHP hookup array that loads into a locally generated array that builds on demand and is completely scalable because I learned how to do it.
Yeah.
But a lot of people these days will be like, they'll come to me and be like, hey, my WordPress page doesn't work. Well, look, cunt, you can't have me help you. WordPress won't give me access to the code base to fix it.
Yeah.
You've cheated and you can't do the thing you want anymore.
Yeah. Same thing with, like, animation for me was, like, I learned how to do IK scaling and everything needed for rigging. And the next year after us just used, like, the pre-built stuff we were told never to touch.
Or, it fucking auto-filled keyframes and shit. Like,
yeah.
No. Bad software.
Lazy, that's what it is.
I did QA, I just had to type shit in a Word doc. Hey!
By our powers combined, we make one useful person in the games industry.
But the point is, if you use this stuff to start learning how to, like, oh, we'll teach you how to use our software and we'll have this little AI that helps you do it, all you're going to do is teach people not how to do art. They're just going to learn how to let the AI do it.
Yeah.
But
so it's not even a positive thing if that is what they want to do with it. But I highly doubt it is.
But it's going to get to a point where if you want to be an artist, you're going to have to go back to pen and paper. You not do digital art. Like, do pen and paper, and then if you want it online, scan it.
Pretty much.
Or there's going to be some point where, like, it's going to be a feature of a software that's like, we don't scrape your data.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, it's going to be a feature. It's like, I just hate the fact that it's opt-out. This kind of shit should never be opt-out.
No, it should be default
only ever be
off.
opt-in.
Yeah, fucking oath.
Yeah.
You don't automatically say, yeah, no, they'll do it. That's fucking scummy.
Yeah.
That is
you can't hope for the best
thing
from a fucking corporation, because whatever you think is scummy, they've already done that, and now they're on the next scummy thing.
Yeah.
Pretty much.
Well, I mean, the thing, like, chances are somewhere in the updated TOS, there was probably a thing that said, and we're going to scrape your shit. But if you ever actually looked at a TOS, it is so gargantuanly designed so that any commonplace person cannot read and understand it. And even some lawyers have trouble with these fucking things.
You need, like, a specific law degree to understand terms and conditions.
Well, it's one of the reasons why terms and conditions are actually incredibly difficult to actually enforce.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because it's you look at it and go, what reasonable person can understand this? No one. Well, then how could they have actually consented to it?
Yeah.
But who doesn't just scroll to the bottom and click accept?
Crazy people. And people with law degrees, I assume.
But speaking of, like, weird, scummy stuff with licensing...
Onto the rest of the world space, nerd space at the moment.
we're gonna have to talk about what's going on with D&D, because Jesus Christ.
Oh, that fucking... that's gonna be fun to deal with later.
So, look, I'll freely admit right now this is from a leak, and it may not go into an effect in the way it's been described.
I'm fully expecting the leak to be someone from fucking... from Wizards of the Coast who's leaked a shitty copy to make everyone crack the shits, and then in 3 weeks' time they'll launch a slightly better copy to say, no, that was just that was an alpha. We weren't actually going to do any of that.
Yeah,
now I'm with you on that one. It's a Sonic movie all over again.
Yeah. They're pretty much, we're no longer going in dry. See, you get a drop of lube.
But basically what's happening is, based off this leak, WotC is about to try and activate so much control of their product that the entire secondary market of creators for D&D products is about to get gutted.
Oh, massively.
So I don't know how true it is. I'll freely admit that. I've read a bunch of different articles and things, and one of the consistent things is this idea that WotC never intended people to create competition for D&D with this license.
Yeah.
The original idea was so that, we could make a little adventure and share it with our friends.
Which is fair enough.
Or a game.
You don't want, you shouldn't be responsible for making your own fucking competition. You develop a product, hey, it should stay as your fucking product.
Yeah.
But unfortunately, companies like Paizo and Pathfinder have pretty eclipsed D&D.
Yeah.
If you ask most D&D players, they'll probably tell you that they play one of 3 versions of D&D. I'll admit 2 of them are from WotC, which are 3rd ed, 3.5.
Yeah.
And 5th ed, although 5th ed is generally considered the onboarding version, less the gameplay version. If you want the crunch and the real depth of D&D, you're probably going back to 3.5. Or you play Pathfinder.
Pretty much.
Because I know that was my preferred version of D&D, was to go play Pathfinder.
Yeah, they had so much more in-depth lore and more fun things in there. It's great.
And WotC didn't get a piece of that pie because it was a third-party company. They essentially were a competitor.
Yeah.
But they used WotC's product as a base. So it seems like WotC really wants to take back that control. So things like if you create a product and it is a print or a PDF version of the product, you have to, 1, tell WotC you made it and that you intend to sell it. What they're going to do with that information, little unclear. But I will absolutely bet if they don't like it, they're going to tell you no.
Yeah. And they just can't do anything with it.
And they're the only 2 versions of stuff that you can monetize.
Yeah.
So if you want to make a YouTube channel or a various videos or write-ups or books or anything, you can't monetize any of that. That is no longer a viable option. So you look at something like Critical Role. That is a YouTube channel where they play D&D.
That is a massive part in what's making D&D what it is today.
Yeah.
Well, 2 of their custom classes became actual classes in D&D.
Yeah. Well, they did a thing with D&D to release a book officially through the thing of their world with a whole heap of their content.
Yeah.
But under this new kind of system, that could never happen again. There couldn't be another
It wouldn't
version.
need to happen again.
It's less that. It's more that Critical Role itself, its whole YouTube channel, dead.
Yeah.
It can't be monetized.
Yeah.
They can't make any money off of that product. They just did there's that Vox Machina TV show based off Critical Role.
Yeah.
No longer would that be monetizable. So
Dimension
Netflix,
20, all of those gone. But they're also stepping into killing other markets as well, like the VTTs, like other Tailspire and all of those. So if you're producing one of those and you want to use anything from D&D, you are unable to now. You have to register with it because they're also bringing out the one D&D VTT. They're trying to nix every form of competition there is regarding it, and they're stating it's to stop people making NFTs and blockchain, but no one's made any of that.
No one's doing that at all.
No, no one else is doing that until WotC goes, oh, you know what would be really cool?
Fucking Muppets.
Let's make NFTs of the fucking Monster Manual.
They'll do it.
And then there's things like they have a commercial license that you can get, and this is if you make over $750,000, WotC then gets 25 cents on the dollar for what you make after that in perpetuity.
Yeah.
It's not like a one-time payment or anything like that, because, oh, cool, look, you succeeded. No, they've got an irrevocable, eternal revenue kickback from you for everything after that.
For a full quarter of what you're making.
Yeah.
That's fucked. But
so if you make if whatever you produces earns under $50,000 in a year, I don't think you need to you report it. But if it earns over that, you have to report what it is and all these fucking details about it. If it earns more, or if everything you've produced earns more than $750,000 in a year, then you have to pay 25 cents on the dollar for everything over $750,000.
Yeah.
Which for if some mob does 2 Kickstarters in a year and they go fucking gangbusters, it's like, that's going to fucking gut a whole chunk out of the middle of it. So stretch goals are pretty much fucked, because that 25% of what you've earned over that is now going to fucking WotC. So why would you put a stretch goal on there?
Hell, it would disincentivize adding stretch goals.
Fucking oath.
Why would you want to incentivize your people buying your product to put more money in? Because if you push us over that 750 limit, our next Kickstarter is worthless. We're waiting 1 year.
Yeah. So they'd almost have to put a hard cap of, this is what we're doing up to 750,000. After that,
nothing.
Yeah.
That's it. We're not offering anything else after 750,000.
And it's not uncommon for them to hit that
no,
level
it isn't.
of money.
If you get something that excites
the
the community,
Fool's Gold
holy
campaign
fuck.
hit 1.3.
Yeah.
Fool's Gold hit 1.3 million, and I backed that one myself, the full shebang. But now they would get screwed, because a decent amount of that money would just disappear.
Yeah.
But,
And D&D modules and settings are incredibly popular.
yeah.
A lot of people have been waiting for the 5th ed conversions of popular settings. I know you backed the Iron Kingdoms one, and a couple of other horror ones, all of which went incredibly well.
Oh, yeah.
Like, this would just screw this entire market over.
Oh, definitely. And things like this is one of the few times where normally these kinds of things, when they get leaked, divide a community. This is one of the few times you see most, 80 to 90% of the community has gone, fuck off. This is bullshit.
Yeah.
Well, that
100%.
that Kickstarter you mentioned a little while ago, that they pulled 1.3 mil out of it. They'd have to They'd have to pay $137,500 to WotC out of that.
Fucking hell.
And that's just the development. That's not even sales or ongoing support for it. That's just the initial kick.
Yeah. Then they have to pay a quarter of that on top.
And it's not even, that's not out of profit. That's just what you've got.
Yeah.
Which is fucking...
You made this much money, hand it over.
Yeah.
It's the fine bros all over again.
Yeah. And then you have taxes and all the other shit on top of it. So,
yeah.
I mean, the thing that's really pissing a lot of these developers off is WotC's basically going, oh, if you want to keep selling products, you have to agree to the 1.1. Well, again, this is from the leak. We don't know if it's going to stay this way. They're basically going, oh yeah, all you guys who made products under the old licensing agreement, yeah, you have to agree to the new one.
But there's a few other things that are pissing people off with it. Namely that if you anything you register with them, or because you have to register anything, if it turns out going well, they can decide that they own it now and print it without any fucking argument. And you can't sue because they've changed that in there, that you give up all legal rights to it, and that they can completely change the fucking OGL with 30 days notice, saying we're changing this in a month. Deal with it.
Yeah. And if you want to keep selling, agree.
Yeah.
It's a massive spit in the face. Essentially, it's horrible.
Yeah. Well, and it was also meant to launch on it was meant to be released on the 3rd, and you had to accept within a week. It gave you a week before it became active.
You had to be agreed and signed up by the 13th of January.
Yeah. That's fucked. That's not really enough time to sit down. If you're running a YouTube channel with not just the people that are on the fucking screen, but you've probably got a development team behind this, to sit down and go, this is where we're at. They want to take 25% of everything, of a large chunk of what we pull in. Fuck.
This honestly just reeks of a massive money grab, and it's horrible.
Yeah.
Well, in the financial meeting last year, didn't they say D&D is under-monetized?
Yep.
That's the weird thing. They didn't say it wasn't making money, it was under-monetized. That's a dick move. We could make more out of this if we fucked over the fans.
Yeah.
Which is annoying because they're already pushing monetized options, which, although I will admit, are very useful tools. There's that D&D online app.
D&D Beyond. Yeah, that's fucking handy. I use that so much.
Yeah.
It's a great character sheet unit.
Fucking oath.
You gotta pay.
Well, you can use the
but then no
character
one
sheet
else is-
like with base shit for nothing. You can use
Yeah,
it with
yeah,
like
but-
basic player's handbook stuff for nothing. But anything else, you need the modules for it.
Who the heck plays basic handbook D&D?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And though you can homebrew anything else into it if you use their little fucking system. I've used that a bit for random shit.
It
But
takes some
point
time,
is-
but it can be
It
done.
does. It's
They
fucking
have
it does.
developed. They have developed a good tool.
Yeah.
That is useful and is better than something like,
But-
say, Hero Lab.
but
where they're
they didn't
constantly
even develop that.
nickel-and-diming you.
They only recently bought that. That was developed by someone else who had a license, who used a lot of the OGL to create that. Who
Yeah.
WotC then bought.
Yeah.
Yeah. But my point is simply that they're already starting to monetize, and
Oh, yeah.
monetize in ways that the community actually is okay with, because there has not been a good digital character sheet for D&D.
No.
The fact that someone made one and then once he bought it and continued its development, sure, that's great. Don't monetize it like this. Don't monetize D&D by screwing over every third-party person who keeps this game relevant.
Yeah.
D&D has not stayed relevant because WotC made it relevant. It stayed relevant because the community loves the product and wants to keep making stuff for it. It's the exact same argument for why you can keep releasing Skyrim.
Pretty
Yeah,
much. But
fucking
if you
oath.
keep fucking over the fans, eventually they will leave. And
Yeah,
there
the
are
fans
other
will fuck
systems
back.
out there.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like, people will end up going to Pathfinder 2.0, or they'll end up going to play, things like Savage Worlds, or any other
Well,
number
they
of
may go to
RPG
Savage Worlds
systems.
because we don't know what the hell is going to happen with Pathfinder, because a lot of that was developed with the OGL. And if that's... Like, if they bring 1.1...
Savage Worlds is
what's
completely
the-
different, which is
Yeah,
great.
but Pathfinder...
Savage Worlds...
could be affected massively. Like KZ could be fucked if they have to pay up. Like if they, for all the shit they've done for Pathfinder, for each fucking module that's related back to fucking D&D, how much do they earn
Pathfinder
a year? How
should
much
be
that is
okay,
over
so-
That's the usual
750,000?
With the full conversion of Pathfinder over to Savage Worlds rule set, they would be fine because they're no longer using WotC's product.
Yeah.
Otherwise, it's just a generic fantasy setting. But now it's no longer using WotC's D&D shit. It would be... I would assume... Look, I'm not a legal person.
No.
But based on the way the OGL... At least the information I have on the way the OGL works, it's only relevant if you use WotC's product.
A lot of the monsters
Savage
in Pathfinder as well are open source, essentially. They're
Or
public
they
domain.
made them.
Yeah, but how much of it was based on D&D? Because if they can link it,
3.5.
well, the
Mostly just the system, like
Pathfinder
the
1
D20.
was based on 3.5, but 2 was based more on 5e.
Yeah. They basically
Yeah,
just
so
know
if they can
basically.
if they can prove that it links back to that, then they may be able to fucking force an issue there.
That may be why they moved across the Savage World system in the end.
Yeah, that I'd
Maybe.
say that's a very fucking likely thing. They may have seen the waters changing.
The
On,
writing
well,
wall.
motherfuckers,
Yeah.
we are changing. You may end up with a Pathfinder third edition that is completely fucking Savage Worlds.
Yeah.
If they
Again,
just straight
it
out,
already exists.
yeah.
We already have
It
it.
already exists. I own it.
I got the
It's
box
this.
set.
Yeah.
It's great.
So
I have the box set for Pathfinder for Savage
So
Worlds.
all they have to do is just straight out drop development for what they've already done.
Yeah.
So no, we're not doing it anymore.
And
It's
they've
no longer on our
continued
store.
to they've continued to release more content. They did their second content drop.
Yeah.
A full campaign pack and additional rule books for Savage Pathfinder. They are continuing support for the full conversion of Pathfinder out of WotC's control.
Yeah.
Thing is, I don't think this is just WotC, to be honest. I think this has to be from Hasbro, which is slightly higher
Yeah,
up the
massively.
chain.
Yeah.
And
It's
they've
not
done the same
slightly,
thing-
It's the fucking umbrella over the top.
Oh, yeah.
Hey, Editor Seth here. Just wanted to jump in before we moved off the D&D stuff onto various other topics. That just wanted to make two slight corrections. One, we didn't quite get it right with the way that Critical Role or Dimension 20 would be affected. It wouldn't actually stop them being able to be streamed, but it does push them toward the fair use area, which you just have to look at YouTube to see how that's a real problem. And two, WotC has actually put out its statement on the whole topic. Unfortunately, it came out after recording. We will be talking about it next week. So just know that there has been a response, and we will be talking about it. All right, back to the podcast.
And then there's, of course, like, there are other products that Hasbro are fucking meddling with. Like, just look at Magic the Gathering and everything else involved with that.
Yeah.
Like,
that makes me depressed because I'm a big fan of MTG.
Yeah.
But it's really hard to be a fan when they just fucking hate the community.
My wallet wouldn't let me be a fan of MTG anymore. I've already got expensive hobbies. I can't have cardboard crack.
yeah, that's fair.
I mean, like, saying that, it's like they did for the 30th anniversary of MTG, they created this fancy box that contained 4 booster packs. And they charged $1,000 for it.
Yeah.
Because it had reprints of reserve cards, which are supposed to be cards that are never going to get reprinted again, but they're not tournament legal. You can't use them in anything.
So instead of spending $1,000, spend $50 on a really cheap printer and print them yourself. Because it's the same fucking thing.
Pretty much.
Yeah. You stick a printout, a high-def inkjet fucking laser print of a Black Lotus on a piece of cardboard, you've got the same quality as this fucking thing from actual WotC. No one liked it. It was massively... Well, it sold out really quick because people wanted to be able to open it.
It sold out because streamers exist.
Yeah, it's...
a lot of
none of the fans or actual players enjoyed it because it wasn't aimed at actual fucking fans. It was aimed at fucking content creators and fuckwits. People with more money than brains.
And that's what they put out for their 30th anniversary.
Yeah.
One of the biggest things for MTG. And they're like, nope, we don't give a shit about the player base. We're not releasing a special legacy set. We're not releasing something cool that you're all going to want. No. Top 1% of people who play the game because the thing's $1,000. And it's garbage.
Yeah.
Useless.
And even buying that, you're not guaranteed every card in that fucking set. You'd have to buy multiples of them. And you couldn't buy
even
them.
Then it's
you
random.
could only buy them from their website. So they got the entire fucking kickback. You couldn't go down your local card shop and buy shit from them. So at every fucking point,
the full set,
they had to fucking
get the full
gouge.
set that you wanted. To get the premium set out of that, you would have had to spend $3,000.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because you wanted the Power 9 and you've only got 4 boosters.
Yeah. And that's if you're fucking lucky. Like, that's if you got the exact drops you wanted.
No doubles.
Yeah. So, because there were quite a few fucking cards in it, like, you could have spent hundreds of thousands of fucking dollars on it and still not got a Lotus or one of the 9 that you're after. Because they still had rarity within that. So they only printed so many of each card. And there was a limited run, so you couldn't just keep buying the fucking things till you got it, because they only did so many.
Unfortunately, this kind of behavior has been running rampant in nerd culture for a very long time. I mean, like,
I think it seems to be getting fucking worse lately. It just seems to be or it seems to be standing out a little more.
Well, when we were in high school, nerd culture wasn't exactly as popular as it is now. The second it became more popular, and Hasbro's gone, oh fuck, there's money here. Yeah. They've just started gouging where they can. And then there's places like Games Workshop who had already seen there was money to be made and had started gouging long before.
My problem with them is they decided, okay, so all these pewter models we've been doing, they're expensive. Let's make them out of plastic.
Yeah.
But not drop the price.
Yeah.
Yeah, price stayed the same.
And I swear boxes of units are smaller now. I don't have any metrics for that, but like last time I was in there, it's like I swear I used to get more Gene Stealers in a box.
I always thought, but it's like inflation. They took that shit on hard very early, long before it was a thing. But it's just been a thing in nerd culture for so fucking long, and I think at this point people are finally getting super sick of it. It's like, you know what? Fuck it. I'm going to cancel my D&D Beyond subscription. I'm going to stop doing anything with Magic the Gathering. I'm not going to bother with their tournaments or any of their shit.
But,
just play Commander.
So I use D&D Beyond a lot. That's what I run a lot. If I'm running a campaign, it's usually through that. And if I'm going to run one, for the time that I'm running it, I'll get the subscription so I can share the content that I've got with everyone else to be able to make their characters, which is fucking handy. And previously, when they've released the starter box, like the starter set for it, there was a code in there that you could then type into D&D Beyond, and it gave you the adventure and a heap of the other content for it, which is pretty cool. You got like that little bit extra. Then they did the Essentials kit, where they did the exact same fucking thing. You got the adventure for it and a few other materials, and that was fucking great. And now they've released a new starter set, and it's by itself. If you want any of that content, you got to pay for it. So And you can't buy it as a pack. You can buy the adventure, and then you can buy the monsters, and then you can buy the setting.
Goddamn.
Which is just so fucked.
So, like, when they first bought D&D Beyond, they said, right, we're going to, in future, like some of the future releases, we're going to have more books coming out with a code, so you can get the digital copies. And they've almost immediately said, nah, we're not going to do that. You need to buy them again.
We changed our minds. You were all a bit too excited about getting it for free.
Yeah.
It feels weird that, like, such established... Well, it doesn't. It's a big corporation.
Yeah.
But it feels kind of weird that such established franchises that have such reach and influence are doing worse things than the fucking Pokemon card game.
Yeah. I have a bunch of mates who play Pokemon, like, the card game just because it's cheaper, to be honest. Like,
well, it's not just that it's cheaper, but it has the perfect retention cycle.
Yeah.
So, you buy physical cards. You get a pack, you crack your booster. In the back of it is a code, which if you put into their online game, you get the same boost... Well, not the same cards, but you get a booster from the same set.
Yeah.
To open in your digital setup.
Yeah.
Which encourages that when you're not playing at whatever local LGS you're at, you can then play online, but it incentivizes you to keep buying physical product because you keep getting codes to use in your digital product, and then you play on your digital product, which keeps you invested in the game, so you keep wanting to play the physical game. It's a fucking feedback loop, and no one else is doing it. What the fuck?
And no one gets hurt in that feedback loop. Like, it's well done.
Buy a physical loot box to get a digital loot box.
Yeah.
I mean,
So, what are Pokemon cards going to do in Germany?
Actually, that's a good point.
Look, there's been a long debate about whether
booster packs are loot boxes.
Cards and things like that are loot boxes.
They technically are.
But look,
if you look at a description of a loot box, it's a fucking booster pack.
I know, but at the same time, at least Pokemon's going, hey man, you gave us $5, have 2.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And, like, it perplexes me that they're doing that, and, like, MTG just put out, like, in the last couple of years, they put out MTG Arena, which is their big new digital thing. It's a lot more like, look and plays a lot more like Hearthstone does. And yet they don't do this. They don't let you get extras from your physical purchases in the fucking digital game. It's a no-brainer, and I don't get it, other than greed.
Yeah.
Just like the previous MTG games, I thought they did do something like that. You could, like, if you bought, like, a deck and it had a legendary card, you get a code to have that card online. I just remember it being in an older version of MTG.
They might have, like, there's only 2 MTG apps. There's the original MTG Online app, which is really rough to use.
Yeah.
I'm thinking it might have been... Actually, I sort of remember, like, there was an online store, and I remember playing it on the Xbox. I had to link it to another online account. It was like 2014 or 15, like one of those games.
Yeah.
And it was like only a limited thing. It was like a certain set that came with these codes you had to redeem online, and it gave you a code to redeem on the Xbox. But yeah, at least that was
the infrastructure was there already.
Yeah,
like,
but that was like standalone products. They didn't actually connect anything. There was no real online play. It was just you basically playing against the AI. I got to play with the shiny cards.
Yeah. Well, you got to play with Xbox Live, thank you. against the 10 other people that were playing.
Yeah.
I just don't remember it being online. I did play a bit on my PC because I liked MTG. But Arena is their new big online push, and like I said, it functions a lot like Hearthstone. Like, you open a pack, and if you've got doubles, you can grind them up for dust, and then you can turn that dust into whatever card you want. You know, it does that whole... It basically cribbed Hearthstone's notes and went, we can do that. And then did. But it doesn't have this other integration that Pokemon does, which I think is the missing component.
Yeah. It's
because it helps make the game more sticky.
It's a physical microtransaction. Yeah.
But we've seen this happening for years, and unless the entire community turns around and says no, like it's happening with D&D, it keeps going.
Yeah,
but absolutely. Like, one of 2 things are going to happen with that. They're either going to, like, pull back and go, oh no, it's not going to be as bad, we'll release a slightly better one, or they'll double down and say stiff shit.
I'm expecting they'll double down. Like,
yes, I mean,
I'm honestly expecting Hasbro to dig their heels in through Wizards of the Coast, be like, nah, do it, fuck them.
Yeah, and if they're already cutting deals with Kickstarter, then they're already got wheels in motion for other things. Like, what other stores are there that are you now going to be able to get a slightly better fucking return if you release it on a specific store than you are for another one? Then why the fuck would you go to the other one? So you're forcing fucking monopolies on certain fucking content creators or certain... Because they've also said in there that if you do earn over that 750,000, we may be open to a personal fucking contract. Instead of you being tied to this, we may make our own contract with you, so you get a slightly better deal. And so they're going to end up pushing specific fucking creators or specific books or fuck it, you've made a good book, but we don't want to make a deal with you, so we own it anyway.
We're just going to take it. It's ours.
Yeah.
Do we want to get off this slightly depressing talking? We can talk about books.
Well, yeah, let's do that thing.
But just for anything, hope for the best, plan for the worst, expect somewhere in between.
Pretty much.
Look, I agree with you, Dan. I'm expecting them to release a 1.2 version where it's like, we listened and we're happy, but whatever.
But
then again, if they can change it within 30 days...
Listened, we're happy, then
we fixed it, replaced everything.
Yeah.
Oh no, it's very similar to the original.
Even if they do make a shitty version, they can still go back with a fucking horrible one. So
yeah. So books.
Yes.
We read Hogfather.
I love this book. It was great.
The whole concept behind this book, like, I never would have thought, like, how can you fuck with a supernatural being by fucking with other supernatural beings? That's just such a great fucking concept. I love it.
It's like the old magic, using teeth and toenails and things to control people.
Where myths and legends come from. It's just fucking great.
The thing I really like is it's this really interesting breakdown of what faith is.
Yeah.
Because, like, they point out that... actually, I can't remember if this is from the movie or the book. It's now starting to blend a little in my head. Right near the end of the book, where they're talking about, like, the sun doesn't come up unless the Hogfather happens.
Oh no, that was in the book. Yeah.
No, but like the bit where he points out that where a
mere ball of flaming gas will
will rise.
It'll still happen, but it just won't be the sun. It just wouldn't be that. Yeah. Or
it's such an.
Sorry, I was going to say that faith is a finite resource. So as faith dwindles here and faith grows elsewhere because of it, it's an interesting fucking balance act that you'd never really think of with it.
No. And that's probably the thing I've always loved the most about Terry Pratchett's books. You can look at it on the surface and be like, that's this story about myths. And it's like, that's interesting, but the real interesting thing he breaks down across the whole fucking book is how faith works.
Yeah.
And how some things will happen without faith, but then the faith it kind of breaks the faith to have it happen without it. And that's a whole thing on its own.
Yeah. And things will still happen without it, but they're not the things that happened with it. And it's just... I love this book so fucking
clever.
much. The whole Terry Pratchett universe.
The Discworld series is amazing. I love all of it. And anything to do with the Death character is always fun.
Oh, yeah.
Because he has one of the best quotes in that one, which is the small lies are big lies quote. But
what was that one?
I'll get the actual quote up. But
I mean, I still always like the one from the Hogfather with you can't give her a sword is dangerous.
No.
Yeah, that's such a great little fucking interlude, because it's a lesson that otherwise wouldn't be fucking learned. It's like, oh, I love it so much.
If you get hurt, then she'll learn the lesson.
Yeah, that's the whole fucking point, dickhead. And I think that's actually something that's sort of relevant in society now. People aren't learning the lessons they should when they're young. They're being a little too fucking coddled.
It's why when my nieces and nephews get a bit older, I'm sending them each a copy of these kinds of books. Like, I will happily send them all a full set of the Discworld series, because they always deal with very big topics, but in a way that small people can understand. Like Thud deals entirely with like racism and the fallout from it and everything, and it's a great book, recommended to everyone. But you read it and you don't catch on to it until halfway through. It's like, oh shit, that's what it's about.
Yeah. Every one of those books has got a massive lesson hidden in comedy and amazing storytelling.
And it always boils down to funny, fuck you, like, existential crisis, funny. Like, with this one, for me, it was always the quote, take the universe and grind it down to the finest powder and sieve it through the finest sieve, and then show me one atom of justice, one molecule of mercy. And yet, you act as if there is some ideal order to the world, as if there is some rightness in the universe to which it may be judged. And that, when I first, like, read that when I was much younger, was like, fuck, that's an existential crisis right there, let's have some fun with that. But,
so, Swoosh, if you ever get into reading audiobooks, let me know, eh?
I'll give it a shot.
Your dulcet tones, I could listen to those all evening.
I have been told I have the face for radio.
Yes. Face for radio and a voice for print. Yeah.
But yeah, no, like, this book, it's got some great comedy in it as well. Anything to do with the wizards running around is always fun. The fact that this one, like, the version I had 2 voice actors reading, so there was the woman doing the main story, and then anytime there was an editor's note, which Tara Pratchett was always known for, or anytime Death was speaking, it would switch to a male voice actor.
Yeah.
And that just helped to bring the gravitas to his voice.
It really did.
And it was really, really well done. Like, fucking mint. I loved it.
Yeah. I'd rate this book fucking highly. I love it.
Oh, yeah.
As much as, like, a single voice actor can do a wonderful job, there's nothing like having a couple people.
Yeah. Like, it doesn't have to be a full voice cast. Like, some people can double up in things, but just having another voice to enhance certain parts of it, just to, this is different. Like, this is something that separate to the story that's been going on. This is a little more of the fucking world, and brings that nice depth in. It's really good.
It really particularly helped with the way the editor notes are added in, because like in a book you would see them split off.
Yeah,
but having an actual, like, normal, different voice, normal, really helps separate it as, like, this is a side thing.
Yeah.
Chew on that on your own.
One of my favorite things with them, though, was the fact that they have a little tone at the start and end of them, like an announcement at, like, a train station, and it's like, that is the most Terry Pratchett thing I've heard in a while.
Yeah.
It's almost like the Discord universe is talking to you. It's an ethereal being of this.
Yeah.
Now back to your story.
Yeah.
Back to your regularly scheduled program.
But
absolutely. Hogfather was great. The version of it we listened to was well read. Highly recommend. It's worth your credits if you've got me.
Literally, you could spend a credit on any of the fucking Discord series, and it's money well spent. But
it's one of those things where, like, I want to tell you to read them in order because they do stack better that way.
Yeah.
But quite honestly, if anyone recommends you a Discworld novel, just fucking go buy it.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter.
You'll
get enough context within the story itself to get 90% of what's going on.
I cherry picked and went through and followed Vimes and the Night Watch, and I just absolutely loved them. I got absorbed into them more than anything else. But Discworld is
by far one of my favorites. I think it's anything in the Ankh-Morpork stuff tended to be pretty fun, but then there was things like Rincewind was always fun for a laugh, and the Witches were fun for a Macbeth ripoff and that kind of stuff. So that was a more classic literature. We're gonna make fun of that in the background, but Vimes, I fucking love that guy.
Yeah, a lot of Vimes I felt was a lot of like personal lessons. Like you can look at his take on the world, like his whole take on expensive shoes versus the cheap shoes and how you gain wealth through those. That was like, holy fuck! Like
bootstrap economics.
I never really thought of economics like that, but Jesus.
Like, it's great.
And that's only just like a passing comment in it. Like, holy fuck, yeah.
Because like in the first book, Vimes is still a drunk. And then he goes on from there and becomes Captain Vimes or Commander Vimes.
Yeah, and that's sort of where I think that's where they fucked up doing the TV series. So they kept him as a drunk, and that was just horrible.
They fucked up a lot more than that. I know,
but that was like when I first watched that, and it's like, why is Vimes a drunk? No, I'm done. That was enough for me to turn it off. Nah, I'm out. I'm fucking sick of this shit.
You've missed the core point of a very important character, guys.
Yeah,
well done.
Right. Yes.
can absolutely say, do not watch the Guards TV show.
Really?
Yeah, no,
don't.
Doesn't
travesty
exist.
upon.
That's a bad
It's
thing in a
horrible.
bad
Although-
place, and do not even look at it.
Yeah.
On the other hand, if you want to watch the Hogfather movie, good choice.
Oh yes.
Oh yeah, no.
Yeah.
All of the mini series that were made. So there was a Hogfather, Going Postal, as well as Tripping. Oh, was it a Tripping the Light Fantastique or
Yeah,
Color of Magic, the first one.
Color of
They're-
Magic.
they're all
Color of
the-
Magic. It is.
Color
Yeah.
of Magic,
And
that's the one. Because that was the first
they're
one with
the-
the first ever tourist.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Two Flower, and all of their casting was really well done.
Fucking oath.
I
And the
loved it.
world building of it is like, that is so Ankh-Morpork. Oh my god, look at it all.
Yeah. Well, I went back and rewatched The Hogfather, but I also ended up rewatching Going Postal, and kind of forgot the guy who plays Moist von Lipwig, the main character in that.
Yeah.
He also plays who's that fuckwit from the Harry Potter series? Lockhart. He plays him from
Yeah.
the movies. I'm like, ooh, I know that face. It's like,
And I mean, that's just the live action stuff. Like, you can also throw in the 2 animated series that did Soul
Oh, yeah.
Music and The Weird Sisters,
Oh,
and those
yes.
are amazing as well.
Soul Music is a great book, and the animated one for it was perfect. It was so good.
I still say the animated show has the best theme song for Discworld ever written.
Oh yeah, definitely. But honestly, one of my favorite books from that entire genre, or his entire catalog, has to be Reaper Man.
Yeah.
That was a great one. When Death shirks his responsibilities and just wanders off. It has a mid death crisis essentially and wanders off in the distance. That was a great book and should definitely be read.
Yeah, absolutely. So anything from
Suffice
Discworld, you
to
can't
say-
go wrong.
Yeah.
So I say we liked Hogfather. If you
Fucking
didn't
hell.
read, please go. If you didn't check it out with us, check it out. But time for next month's book,
Yay.
which is being picked by me, and I've gone with The Last Hacker by Mark Welbeck. It looks like it's going to be interesting. Basically, the main character lives through an apocalypse created by an AI going rogue. He himself is a hacker and ends up basically just creating his own little hacker den. But weird things are happening and stuff's coming that maybe only a hacker can save them from.
Yes.
Yeah, but I'm pretty down for whatever Last Hacker in the Apocalypse is going to be.
That
it
just
also-
sounds like an interesting concept.
It also doesn't
I know,
look like
right?
a lit RPG.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're not doing a lit up. Also, it
Just
doesn't
you
have a
wait till my
series.
next turn then.
This is a one and done book, so we're not even setting you up for 9 more books to read.
Ugh.
I could do without a back catalogue. I've got several at the moment. Jesus.
I swear, me and John Doe will try and move away from the little RPGs. It's just somehow that's our jam now.
Yeah.
Like, I ain't gonna pretend I ain't listening to him as well. I mean, I'm listening to Stray Cat Strut right now.
Oh, I love that book.
Yeah.
Which is a good set of books.
Mm.
I'm really enjoying it. I'm looking forward to when 3 comes out. I'm most of the way through book 2.
Yeah.
But, like, we keep reading them because they're fun.
Yeah.
And it like I said, it hits that weird little bit of my brain that likes JRPGs.
Yeah.
The bit where, like, grind progression means something.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, I don't hate these books, but I felt like I wanted to choose something a little different, and I had 2 options that I felt like I'd go with, and we decided that the Hacker in the Apocalypse was probably going to be the more interesting, and now we're doing another sci-fi book.
I know.
Well, the goal, I
It's a
think, was just to find new
apocalypse
things
book.
to read
Yeah.
and check out as well.
Yeah.
So we don't want to get stuck into a rut of lit RPGs. So.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And for anyone else that listens to Audible a lot, there was a little New Year's gift that was accidentally given. Audible fucked up, and there were there were quite a few books that were meant to be released later in the year, like say April, May, June. That when it ticked over the new year, something fucked up, and they all launched on January 1st. So 3 of the series that I listened to, I got notifications saying the book you've got on your wish list is now available. It's just like spending the credits now. This wasn't meant to be here till fucking April, and I'm
Wild
now listening to
tales.
it. So it also went through Reddit and a number of other places saying they've accidentally dropped these books. Buy them now before they fucking take it back. Buy them and download them now. So I did a few of those, and there were a whole stack of them that got dropped apparently that really weren't meant to be. So someone fucked up the release there.
Yeah, someone pushed the wrong button in the wrong folder. It's like, that'll be fine.
Someone fucked up the Y2K. It was just
Yeah.
Y2 2020.
But yeah, we're going to be doing this Hacker Apocalypse thing. I will post it as always in the show notes and on the Facebook page and the Discord and all of the things. Yeah, so that's what we're going to do. We're going to take a break from lit RPG stuff and fantasy stuff, and we're going to go do another. I mean, I guess it's sci-fi, but it's a little more like grounded sci-fi, not like space sci-fi.
Apocalyptic literature.
A step away from lit RPGs is welcome, just because as soon as I finish the book, I go back into them. It's like, oh my god, this is so good.
Yes. We get a nice respite from the lit RPG, then go back re-energized.
Holy shit, that was a cool book. I enjoyed that. Now I'm going to go sink myself back into another 11-book series.
Trust me, if you need someone to keep you grounded and away from like crazy fantasy stuff, I have a lot of apocalypse fiction.
I like apocalypse things, actually. That'd be fun.
There's one I would really like to do sometime, but it's a pretty short book.
A sub recommendation.
I mean,
yeah.
I mean, I'll mention it.
This
here
isn't a monthly book. This is a 2-week book.
It's only $2 on Audible. It's called To Build a Fire, and it's essentially a story about a dude slowly freezing to death.
Oh wow.
It's only 41 minutes.
That sounds uplifting.
Very short. Look, man, I like things that have something interesting to say.
Oh yeah.
And that was one that I found out about when I was watching a video about a guy talking about how humanity's relationship with the cold. And it was talking about this book, and it's like, wow, that's really interesting. I mean, like, this is how I found Haunted. I was just randomly listening to someone talk about horror stuff, and then they're like, hey, there's this weird book. Maybe people should read it. And that's how I found this Snow book, and it was just like, wow, that's really weird, because it's like about this guy trying to keep the fire lit, and then it keeps fucking up, and he's slowly, like, now his fingers don't work, so he can't strike the matches.
That actually does sound
crazy.
Interesting, like, weird.
Yeah, it's really short. It's like $2.
Nice.
It's interesting, but like I listen to a lot of weird books like that, a lot of apocalypse fiction. I don't tend to share it a lot with people because people tend to find it very weird when I'm like, hey man, I read Roadside Picnic. That was a really odd book, or A Dog's Heart, which was very strange. So trust me, I've got a lot of, like, you need to get grounded back into into something. I've got your books, man.
Nice.
I'll hang around and make sure I recommend the grounded stuff.
Nice.
Bring us down from our balloons floating in the skies.
I am the lead weight.
Always gonna have.
All right. Well, well, we're out past an hour, so I think we're done for the week.
All right.
So have a good one, guys.
Yep.
Goodbye.
See ya.